think of like a mortgage loan, or think of kind of like a insurance claim, and just kind of that experience you may have. What our technology helps does is when you pick up the phone, and that's the easiest way to summarize it, is if you pick up the phone and talk to a brand, and being able to bring very difficult concepts in technology and try to reduce them to really easy everyday language. Even people that had little experience doing it, or at least have that client-facing skills, we've seen people entry level that become really good, successful solution engineers.
Hi, good morning. So today, Abdullah with us, who is a career solutions consultant that has demonstrated and acted as a product consultant for a variety of enterprise softwares. He specializes in the Fortune 500 and has acted as a solution sales liaison in assisting to close over $100 million in contracts. Let's welcome Abdullah in 10 minutes of hiring wisdom, where he will tell us about his experiences and how we can learn from his day-to-day life. Hi, Abdullah. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So, Abdullah, can you tell us a little about your journey?
Yeah, so funny enough, I was really kind of gun ho to become a doctor when I first came out of high school. So then I took the MCAT, and then I figured this is not for me. So I continued. I was doing biomedical engineering. I went into finished my MBA, and then I kind of went into tech sales right away from just kind of some high school friends that got me into it. I enjoyed it. I like talking to people. I became very customer facing, but I also wanted to honor a lot of my engineering background as much as I could. So I joined a startup to be a kind of solution engineer. That was my first time. And I'm out of Chicago. I'm from Chicago. But they asked me to kind of live in Los Angeles for kind of a couple weeks. So that was an interesting experience. It was very foundational for me. And it was really fun just kind of learning the ins and outs of a startup and kind of the role of being a pre-sales engineer. So I started out scripting a lot of kind of what goes on to present the software to kind of a lot of different people. And for those who don't know what a solution engineer does, a solution engineer is pretty much an engineer that's client facing, that is able to communicate the technology that they're selling alongside their sales executive. They're also tied to a quota, etc. So I kind of from there, I just began to go into larger and larger roles. I moved into the Microsoft ecosystem, the Salesforce ecosystem. I've been kind of in different types of roles and capacities, whether it's through enterprise accounts or through managing people and just kind of trying to train and onboard them. So that's kind of my 10,000-foot view.
Okay. So I think I'm curious to know, when did you realize that, okay, you're just going to stop becoming a doctor? Like, when was that sudden realization where you're just like, okay, I mean, I have to stop this. I'm not interested in this anymore.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I used to very much be. I tried to do all the different clubs in high school, but the one that I really kind of stood out in was like debate club or all those types of clubs where I had to actually speak, and kind of be public speaking. I never really had uh, kind of any fear, public speaking fear, none of that. I used to be really good at it, and to me, that was just kind of one of those weird skills that I had, and I just didn't really care to nurture that. When I actually kind of get into the thick of it and took the science classes, etc., I didn't. I did well at them. I kind of was more STEM focused, but I also kind of liked writing. I liked speaking. I liked kind of reading a lot. So it was very different than the STEM world in a lot of ways. So I always wanted to combine both of my interests, kind of that left and right side of my brain. So that's really the reason I had that realization.
Yeah, okay. No, no, that definitely does make sense. So thank you for sharing that. My next question for you would be, Abdullah, where are you currently working? What your position is within the company?
So right now I'm a team lead at Blue Prism. Blue Prism, in the same role, kind of solution engineering. What we're focused on today is we help with process automation. What process automation means is think of like a mortgage loan, or think of kind of like a insurance claim, and just kind of that experience you may have. What our technology helps does is when you pick up the phone, and that's the easiest way to summarize it, is if you pick up the phone and talk to a brand, they're not asking you 400 times, hey, go here, go there, go here, go here, or re-verify information. We're helping companies really figure out all those disparate systems behind the scenes so that they can give you a seamless type of experience. So, like, you might see contact us in a lot of websites now that involve things like chat or conversational AI. That a lot of our types of customers are leveraging that to help work with that. So I work in the pre-sales team or kind of org to help a lot of the salespeople sell this technology, explain, and kind of tell the story.
Okay, no, no, that definitely makes sense. And I think my next question for you would be there's a lot of companies that are hiring for solution architects. They can also be known as sales engineers. But I think because you've been in this field for quite a while, what does it take for a person to be successful in their specific field, which is sales engineering or solution architect?
Yeah, the biggest thing you have to be really good at is obviously the soft skills of being able to talk to people and being able to bring very difficult concepts in technology and try to reduce them to really easy everyday language. So I like to kind of tailor that to my audience wherever I go. And the other part of it is, well, you can't be specialized in all the technologies, but to be at least technical enough and savvy enough to learn technology pretty quickly. So once you actually get both of those gears in motion, you're in really good shape, right? So that's what, in my opinion, makes a successful sales engineer, solution architect, etc. And that's what I look for when I kind of hire people or recruit them or build out a team.
Oh, you touched upon the next question that I was going to ask is your team hiring? What kind of positions are open? Of course, there's going to be more around sales engineering and everything. So can you elaborate a little more on that?
Yeah, we definitely are. My manager always is telling me, "Do you know people? Do you know people?" So maybe it's a public broadcast right now, but we're definitely looking for really talented solution engineers, even people that had little experience doing it, or at least have that client-facing skills. We've seen people entry level that become really good, successful solution engineers, and I've started a lot of kind of professional organizations around pre-sales, just on LinkedIn and other areas. So. If you guys are looking to kind of join this type of space of RPA and kind of that technology, I'm happy to kind of vet it out and see if you're a good fit.
Okay, sounds good. And my next question, a follow up for that would be what is your hiring process like? Because these days, a lot of companies have shorter hiring processes just because the pandemic caused a lot of people to understand that, okay, they don't want to be in the market for too long. They realize that they don't have to be kept waiting just because it's a candidate market. So, what is your hiring process like? How long does it take for a candidate to initially have the initial screening and then move on to the offer stage? Do you have an idea regarding that?
So for me, when I joined around 4 or 5 years ago, and it hasn't changed, we've added some layers to it. But you get recruited by a screener. You just kind of see what's going on, or you apply for the job yourself. If it fits the bill, then right after that, you have a screening with the HR, figure out compensation and all this other stuff. And then you talk to the hiring manager, see if they like you. Once that's figured out, typically we'll have someone on the team kind of interview, kind of understand your technical background, and then from there, you'll do like a panel interview just to showcase that you know how to present technical content. Um, it should not take more than a month. That's in a perfect world, we could do it in 5 days, right? Just to kind of one. But like
Yeah.
schedules on both ends don't work that way. But it should not take longer than a month.
Okay, a month sounds decent enough. So I would say that that's not too bad. But Abdullah, thank you so much. I think those are most of the questions that I had. I think specifically how you started on a medical journey, decided that you that wasn't for you, and how you ended up working with clients to present different solutions to them just because you're more passionate about that. It's definitely admirable for people to see that you don't always have to stick with the first choice that you might have been influenced into. So thank you so much for coming on the show, for sharing about your wonderful journey and what you've learned along the way.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Of course.